So when running a client service-based business where you work with clients on an ongoing basis and they pay you a monthly retainer, dealing with clients churning is an inevitable part of the game. And it can happen for a variety of reasons. Some may be your fault. However, a lot of the times it might not be your fault. And there are some things you can do in order to prevent this from happening and certainly reduce the amount it does happen. So my name's Sam. I've been a media buyer since 2019. I've worked with a variety of different businesses in many different industries, and I've worked across many different advertising platforms, spending well in excess of multiple seven figures in ad spend. And in this video, I'm going to be going through the main reasons why clients churn and what can be done about it. So if you run a service business where you bill clients on a monthly retainer, for example, you are a coach, you're an agency or a consultant, or even a SaaS software business, this could save you a lot of headaches. So let's dive in. So here are some of the most common ways as to why clients churn. The first reason is poor product market fit. So this could be that the product that the client is selling, people just don't really want it. It's not in demand. And this could be for a variety of reasons. So if demand is not there for the product or service, then it's going to be very difficult for them to stay on with you if you are marketing them as a service. So the second reason as to why clients churn is they have cash flow issues or they simply aren't doing enough revenue yet. This is why I only work with businesses who do at least 10 to 15K a month. And if a business has cash flow issues and they have a quiet month, the likelihood that they're going to churn and leave is going to be very high because they're going to need to cut costs. The third reason as to why clients churn is they expect results immediately from day one. This is actually really easy to prevent. You just have to be really clear and set expectations up front. If this isn't done and they expect results from day one, then they're going to be disappointed and they're going to be asking you all the time, what's happening? When can I expect to see an uptick? And again, it's going to put a lot of pressure on you. As an agency owner myself and anyone else watching this who's a marketer, we all know that sometimes there can be a little bit of a time delay from when the campaign initially launches to when they actually get a sale from the campaign. So it's important to communicate that clearly with the client that they may not see results immediately. The next reason as to why clients churn is that they expect every lead to be a buyer. Now, if you have run paid ads on Meta or Google, we know that every lead isn't going to be 100% qualified or a buyer. Certainly there are things we can do to pre-qualify those leads, but it's not going to be effective 100% of the time. It's just unrealistic. So again, it's important to set expectations up front that, look, maybe we can aim for 60%, 70% of these leads will be qualified, but there'll be some element of unqualified leads in there as well. And we'll do everything we can to pre-qualify them, but unfortunately, we can't filter all of those out. Another reason why clients can churn is, and this is especially true in the e-commerce space, and this is unrealistic expectations in regards to return on ad spend, their ROI. You know, some clients have an idea in their head of what they expect the campaign to generate in terms of ROAS. Their competitor, they might have heard, is doing a 12x return on ad spend, or they may have run ads back in 2016 and generated a really high ROAS then. And then they think they're going to run ads in 2025, 26, and they're going to get the same results. This can be unrealistic. And this is why it's also important to be clear and experienced within a specific niche, because the more experience you have within a niche, you can kind of accurately tell your prospect, or at least more accurately tell your prospect, what they can actually expect to get from the campaign when you launch it. The next reason why clients can churn is that they have a poor sales and follow-up process. Now, this is really common, especially in the trades, in the skilled trades. A lot of the businesses are owner operated. They're on site, they're working on the job, doing the job. Not in all cases, but many of them haven't been trained how to sell. So when the leads come through, they aren't being handled in the right way, and then they choose not to work with him, not because they weren't qualified, but just because the owner didn't know how to handle that lead properly. So this is really common, and this is obviously really frustrating as a business owner because you're paying for leads and then they come through and then you aren't able to convert them into sales even though they are qualified. Now that's a whole different problem altogether. That comes down to sales training, or perhaps if you are an agency owner, you can actually offer that as a service for a client if they don't have time or if they don't want to learn how to do that properly. Because the way a lot of owner-operator businesses do operate, they rely mainly on referrals and word of mouth. And obviously these are like friends of friends or previous clients, and they come to them knowing them already, they trust them, so it's a lot easier to sell. They're basically already ready to buy. If they come through from a lead, from a cold traffic source, there hasn't been much trust built yet. So it's a lot easier for that lead to just go with another competitor purely based on the fact they have a slicker sales process. And the next reason why clients tend to churn, this is especially true if they're running ads or they're investing in a marketing service, is that they have low ticket products. It's a case of you have to do a lot of volume in order to make the marketing investment worthwhile. What I do tend to look at though is not just one-off sales. I look at the lifetime value of their customer. For example, if someone pays for a tutoring service and they're paying £50 a week, but they're paying that each and every week, then it's actually £200 a month. And if they're paying that for 12 months, then it adds up and the investment is actually over £2,000. But if you're selling something as a one-off and it is like £50, then if you're spending £40-50 in ads to acquire that customer, then it's simply not going to be worth it. So here's some clear action steps which can be done in order to prevent these things from happening. Make sure there is a good product market fit before taking that client on board, because if it's not, they're going to be disappointed and then they're going to end up leaving and probably giving you a bad review. So product market fit is very, very important. And you can do this by just simply looking at other competitors or other people advertising that same product or service in the same area as they're looking to advertise. That's a really quick, easy indicator as to whether there's actually a demand for what they have to sell. When it comes to businesses who have cash flow issues, pre-qualify them on the sales call up front. What is your current revenue? What's your goal in terms of revenue? How much are you selling your current product for? What's the profit margin on that? I think it's important just to have an honest conversation on the initial call with the prospect before actually signing them. So by asking them upfront, what's your monthly revenue? Be really transparent about, look, sometimes this can take 2, 3, 4 weeks in order to start seeing results from this. There is some element of a learning phase and an optimization and a testing phase, which happens in the first couple of weeks. Be honest and transparent so they know what to expect before signing. The more you can set expectations up front, the better, and the easier your life will be weeks and months down the line. Then you want to make sure that they have a sales process. So this could be via you helping train them on a sales process. If you have experience within a particular niche and industry, you can help develop that sales process over time of how to deal with those incoming leads and inquiries. If the prospect has a very established business and they have a good sales team which knows what they're doing, then that's great. If they don't, you probably will have to help train the owner on how to actually handle the leads. Now, if you do train the owner and they're still struggling, or maybe they just don't have time to handle the leads, then that is something either you can offer as a service or you can outsource that to a sales agency separately. And then if you are working with a client who sells low ticket products or services, work out what the lifetime value of that client is, because maybe if they are selling a low ticket service, but the customer tends to stay on with them for 1, 2, 3 years. Some students in the tutoring industry stay with tutors from age 5 the whole way up to when they finish their A-levels, which is around about 16. So that is a ridiculous 10, 11 years worth of paying a tutor. So even though that's £50 a week or £40-50 a week, that actually adds up to being a really good lifetime value. So I wouldn't write off low ticket services if they are recurring, but if it's just one-off low ticket services, I would avoid them. So some tools you can use as an agency owner in order to help with this is lay out a 90-day roadmap as to what they can expect of working for you for the first 90 days. You can build a client qualification checklist. This could be in your initial contact form when the prospect reaches out to you, or this can be during your sales call. You ask them certain questions in order to qualify them to see if they are the right fit for you. So guys, hope you found this video valuable. If you did, make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to book a call on me one-on-one, just click the link in the bio below. book an intro call. And I've also got free resources in the description of this video as well, such as my social ad workbook and the predictable client system. So make sure you check them out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.